What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Becoming Better Daily, where we're becoming better mentally, physically, spiritually. Today I have another great message for you guys, and so I'm gonna just get right into it. And today's word is gonna be called "God Says Stay Close to Me." And so the reason I'm doing this message is because it's always a thing where we start walking with God, right? One of the tactics of the enemy, his favorite tactic, there we go, is to basically separate us from God, because he knows when we are separated from God, then that means we're out of our element, we're out of our environment, right? And what we know about where God is going to use this good example in the Bible, but what we know, let's say for a tree, right? God describes us as a tree, and so based off the element of that tree is going to really determine how it survives or it doesn't survive, right? So if you take a tree right now and you uproot it from outside and you put it inside, it's going to die because of the environment. And so that's how the enemy works. He wants to basically uproot us from God, find ways to pull us from God, because once we're away from God, then what happens is we start dying. We start not feeling alive. We start not feeling that purpose. We start not producing. We start not having the things that we were all called to have. And so that's why today's message is called "Stay Close to Me." And so I'm going to be coming out of Jeremiah 17, verse 7 through 8. And so I'm just going to read this and I'm going to break this down because this is really powerful. And it's helping me, so I want to help you guys, okay? And so Jeremiah 17, verse 7 through 8 says, "But blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and confidence. They are like trees planted along the riverbank with roots that reach deep into the water. Such trees are not bothered by the heat, or worried by long months of drought. Their leaves stay green and they never stop producing fruit." And so that is exactly how we were made to produce, right? And so the first thing God says is, blessed is those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord your hope and confidence. So not trusting in the things that we can see and what we can produce, but the Lord being our confidence. When we have our confidence in the things that we can do, those things can get taken away like that. We can have confidence in our ability to be transported somewhere, and then our car goes down, and then all of a sudden our confidence goes down. Or we could have confidence in having money, and then the money goes away, and now we don't feel like we have purpose. We could feel like we have confidence in getting a degree, and then you don't get that degree, or you fell out, or you got to take a break, and now all of a sudden the confidence is knocked down. But the moment that we make the Lord our confidence, we know that he never leaves us, that God is never changing, that he is always the same. And so when we have trust in the Lord, we are automatically blessed because our blessings are not conditional. Now, the next thing that he says is that when we are rooted in him, we're like trees planted along a riverbank, right? And with the roots deep in the water. So when we are trusting in God, when we are like trees where we connected to the source, right? And so if you are connected to the source, you have everlasting life, right? If you think about a tree again, when you take that tree out of its environment and you put it somewhere else where it's not connected to the source, it dies. But when we are connected to God, when we are like that tree next to the water, our roots are deep. That means that we connected to every vitamin, everything that we need to survive. And so that is what it's like when we put our trust and our hope in the Lord. And then it says, because you're rooted in God, because it's not based off conditional things, it says you don't have to worry. This was really good to me. It says such trees are not bothered by heat. It doesn't matter the heat that comes in your life. Think about whatever heat that is in your life, of whatever it is, issues coming with your kids, issues with your life, with your health, whatever heat comes, it doesn't really matter because you good. You next to the source, you next to the water. Everybody is in the scorching heat. Everything is going on crazy out there. When I say everybody, I'm just saying, I'm thinking a tree analogy, but everything is out there not connected to God. And so they got to worry, oh, if it's hot today, is anyone going to water me? Is anyone going to do this? But the moment you connect yourself to God, you don't have to worry about that, because you know it doesn't matter if the heat turns up. You know, what it say? Even it said that these trees are not bothered by heat, but not only heat, but they're not worried about long months of drought. They don't have to worry about drought, because when everything is a dry land, when everything goes dry, because they're connected to the riverbank, because they're connected to the water, they're going to always produce fruit. They're never going to stop producing fruit. And so I wanted to encourage someone today, and number one, to stay close to God, right? And understand that it doesn't matter. When you stay close to God, the enemy could turn up the heat all he wants. But as long as you locked in with God, he can't stop you. And you will not stop producing fruit. And so I know in this season, the enemy is trying to just really get in our heads and try to remove us from God. When he can't stop the blessings that God already called for your life, the next thing he tries to do is remove you, try to distance you. And so stay close to God, like I said, and you will continue to produce because you are connected to the root, because you're connected to the source, because you have roots. And you're never going to run out. You're never going to stop producing. And so when the enemy tells you you're not going to have this, or you're not going to have that, or you're not going to be this, or you're not going to go here, you're not going to accomplish this, it doesn't even matter whatever he brings, because at the end of the day, God already promises that you're going to forever produce fruit. So with that being said, y'all, stay close to God, stay rooted in God. Don't let the enemy rip you guys away. Don't let him rip us away, and stay rooted in God, because you are going to produce. You are going to make it. So I love you guys. Have a great day.